Welcome to the Musings of Jessica Marie. Many people think of February as one of the most important months for Black Americans since it's Black History Month. While it's definitely an important time to look back on the inventions, advancements, and struggles of our ancestors, it's only one part of our overarching history. Join me as we shine a historical spotlight on our true Independence Day, Juneteenth. While July 4th, 1776 is federally recognized as Independence Day, Black Americans weren't actually included in this Declaration of Independence since the system of slavery had not been abolished yet. At the time, slaves were considered 3/5 of a person and weren't given basic freedoms or liberties that other Americans received despite building the nation with backbreaking work and living in harsh conditions. Black Americans had to stay in bondage for 89 additional years before gaining true independence and freedom. Juneteenth celebrates June 19, 1865, to commemorate the official end of slavery in the United States. Even though freedom was originally granted through the Emancipation Proclamation signed on January 1st, 1863 by President Abraham Lincoln, slaves in southern areas like Galveston, Texas, didn't learn about their freedom until 2 years later. Texas was the farthest of the Confederate states, and slaveholders made no attempt to free any slaves they previously owned. They saw no punishment for keeping the slaves and fought to maintain the status quo for as long as possible. Unfortunately, the Emancipation Proclamation was not enforceable without military intervention, which eventually came nearly 2.5 years later. Despite the long history of Black Americans facing economic, racial, and societal discrimination, Texas was the first state to recognize Juneteenth by law in 1980, and the day was only recently signed into law as a national holiday on June 17, 2021. Before then, there were small regional and local celebrations in pockets across the country, but nothing really as widespread as the gatherings now. In some cities, Black Americans were banned from using public parks due to segregation laws and had to pool their money together to purchase land to hold their celebrations. With the support of the Freedmen's Bureau, Austin held its first celebration in 1867. Similarly, in 1872, Black leaders raised roughly $1,000 to purchase 10 acres of land known today as Houston's Emancipation Park. Nowadays, many people throw festivals, parades, and family cookouts as a way to really celebrate and honor the ancestors who fought so hard to change the world. Unfortunately, unlike the 4th of July, not all companies observe Juneteenth as a paid federal holiday. As a result, many Black Americans have started taking time off to honor their Independence Day. When observing and participating in Juneteenth celebrations, it's important to use the correct colors of red, white, and blue. If you do a quick Google search, you'll see hundreds upon hundreds of images, designs, and apparel in the Pan-Africanist red, yellow, and green colorway. While our cousins across the pond are important too, Juneteenth directly related to the freeing of the slaves that were on American soil who became the distinct Black American ethnic group. Popular society and the media try to lump all ethnicities of Blackness into one overarching umbrella, but it's important that we as Black Americans claim and take pride in our culture and heritage. When immigrants come to this nation, they don't just throw away their homeland, cultural traditions, or tribes just to assimilate into Black society. There's an unspoken line in the sand that Black Americans and other Black ethnicities are totally different in many regards. Unfortunately, there's not a real Black and brown coalition. Juneteenth holds a very special meaning for Black Americans as it solidified that we had finally broken free from the shackles and chains forcibly placed upon us. The battle for equal rights and justice had only just begun, but gaining our freedom from slavery was a step in the right direction. We have to honor our ancestors who lost their lives by continuing to fight to create a system of true justice. If you enjoyed this episode, let me know by giving this video a thumbs up, leaving a comment, and subscribing to my channel. I'll see you in the next episode. Signed, Jessica Marie.